Hello and welcome everybody watching live on Big Train TV. My name is Shaun Salehi and this is Talkin Baseball, and it's usually with Sal Colangelo. Sal's running a little bit late right now, but we're happy to be joined by 2019 Big Train All-Star and LCS and Most Valuable Player Matt Thomas. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Thank you guys for having me today.
Yeah, it should be a fun show. Tonight's show is presented by the Dandy Walker Alliance, a proud partner of Big Train Baseball. If you'd like to check out their organization, please visit dandy-walker.org to learn more today. Now, Matt, we're going to just dive right into things between the two of us. And I wanted to ask you, as a baseball guy, somebody who's played baseball now for a very long time, from Little League to high school, now at William and Mary, where did you first fall in love with the game of baseball?
Like you said, I've been playing my whole life, but I think I really started getting that passion for baseball in high school. I started developing a work ethic, and I think once I got to high school, I started realizing that I wanted to play baseball in college, and that's kind of where it all started. A lot of credit to my high school coach, but that high school, Lake Braddock really put a good drive, and that's kind of where I decided that I want to do that for as long as I can.
Well, as a Robinson graduate, I'll have to put all rivalries aside, but honestly, Lake Braddock has been considered one of the best high school programs on the East Coast, and for good reason. I mean, you guys have been pumping out a lot of talent over the years with different graduation classes. I mean, in fact, former Big Train player and now draftee Logan Driscoll went to Lake Braddock. How did he and other players that you got to play with in Burke kind of affect your game?
Yeah, Logan was like a big brother to me. I lived pretty far away from my high school, so Logan always opened his doors for me, always allowed me to go over there whenever I needed something after school. And, Logan kind of framed and shaped my game. I learned a lot from him, watching him catch and watching him just play the game. And I think I could give a lot of credit to Logan for how I carried myself on the baseball field, because every time Logan went out there, Logan played hard. And I think that's where I started realizing that, baseball is more than just going up there and swinging the bat. It's showing up to the field every single day and playing and giving it your all. And, I give Logan a lot of credit for that, because he was definitely a good role model for all of us.
Well, you mentioned what Logan meant to you in terms of specifically at the catching position, but you played all over the field. You played all over the field for Big Train last summer. You've been a utility guy at William and Mary. Infield, outfield, behind the plate, where do you feel not most natural, but where's your favorite position to play?
My favorite position to play is probably being a catcher. I like being in control of the game. I like being in control of the pitchers, and I like being a leader and being vocal on the field. And I can do that in other positions too, but I feel like as a catcher, you really have to be locked in and dialed into every single pitch, because the ball is coming to you. But I like playing all over the field. I think that's something that I take pride in, is just being athletic enough to just bounce around and kind of play wherever I need to play. But I really do like catching, and I had a really good time splitting time with Jacob Southern back there this year. Hopefully Jacob's watching out there.
Yeah, Jacob actually reached out and said that he's looking forward to tonight, so I'm excited.
Goodness.
We know Southern's a big fan of the show and a big fan of yours. What was the relationship between you two and just and a couple other teammates? I mean, you guys clearly had a close bond in last year's squad here in Bethesda. What was the relationship like between you, Southern, and the other guys?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I miss the most about not playing summer baseball this year, is we showed up to that field on the first day, and we some guys knew people from their schools, but for the most part, we didn't really know each other. And by the end of the summer, we were absolutely best friends, and we will talk to each other for the rest of our lives. But, Jacob in particular, we got really close because we kind of were on the same schedule. Like our normal day we'd show up to the gym, we'd work out, and then we'd go to camp, and we'd run camp together, and then we'd stay at the field, and we just everything that we did together. And I think that's where me and Jacob kind of bonded that summer.
And you guys
I still talk to Jacob all the time.
Yeah, you guys were also kind of going back and forth. I mean, there was a race for the RBI crown going down throughout the season. You ended up finishing out on top in that department. Jacob ended up finishing on top in the home run department. Was there kind of an inner, not rivalry, but a lot of competition, a healthy competition between brothers?
There absolutely was. Me and Jacob would compete all the time. He would hit right before me, and if there was a guy on base and Jacob would hit a single and the guy wouldn't score, I would go up to the plate and he would laugh at me because then he just knew that he gave me that opportunity. But that competition never really got finished because Jacob unfortunately left early. But there was absolutely so much competition. That's what made summer ball fun because we're just out there playing. I think being able to go out there and compete inside of a competition, that just makes our drive to win even more. And me and Jacob had a lot of fun with that this summer. That was fun.
Well, we're going to kind of transition back into high school. You touched on it a little bit earlier, but you live in Lovettsville, Virginia. For those of who are listening or aren't quite familiar with the area, Lovettsville is like the northernmost tip of the state of Virginia. It's actually north of Bethesda. That's about an hour away from Burke, Virginia, where you went to high school at Lake Braddock. What went into that decision to go to Lake Braddock, and what was it like on a normal school day for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I wanted to achieve going to Lake Braddock is I just wanted to win. I wanted to win a state championship. I had played travel ball with some guys out there growing up, and I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Lake Braddock. And the goal of going to Lake Braddock was to win a state championship. I thought the people that I was going to be surrounded by, the coaching staff, and the players that I was going to be playing around was going to improve my game to where I could get to the next level. And so the bottom line there was like I just wanted to win. And a normal day was long. I would wake up probably around 5:15, and I would leave the house by 6:15. I'd take a shower every morning. I would eat breakfast, and then I would be at school, around 7:30, 7:45ish. School would start at 8. I would go to school from 8 to I think school ended at 2:45. And then right after school, we'd either have practice or we'd have team lift or something like that. So I would stay there till about 5:30 and then drive home, be home by 6:30, 7, and then I'd eat dinner and do it all over again. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. Those times at Lake Braddock, those were some times that I wouldn't forget. And it really did allow me to develop into the baseball player that I am. And I learned a lot. I learned how to manage my time. There's a lot of life lessons that I learned there that I wouldn't trade for anything. That was definitely a good experience.
Clearly you had a fantastic career at Lake Braddock. 4 years you played there, starting almost every year, and then ended up really turning it on at each and every season. You got better and better, and your senior season was capped off by being a state player of the year, and all Mets, all region, led the team deep into a playoff run towards a state title. What was your favorite memory of your time at Lake Braddock?
I don't know if I can put my finger on one favorite memory, but I know every single time when playoffs came around, that was definitely my favorite time of year. Just because we were always a team that everybody wanted to beat, so we always had a special chip on our shoulder because we'd show up at the ballpark every day and everybody would want to beat us because we were Lake Braddock. And in the most humble way, that was fun. Like I like that challenge. I like that competition, and we did and fall like a game short my senior year, which still haunts me to this day. But at the same time, that was fun playing in a uniform where everybody showed up to the park every day and just wanted to beat you. And that's kind of where I learned how to win, and I expect to win no matter where I am, whether it's Bethesda, whether it's William & Mary, whether it's Thunderball. I expect to win, and that's kind of where I got that attitude.
Well, it's a good attitude to have, and clearly you brought it to William and Mary. As you got settled in right away, had yourself a pretty good freshman season, and then you get the call, you're getting ready to come back home into the DMV area, and you're going to play summer ball for the Bethesda Big Train. When you first met Sal, and he was going to be your coach, what was your first impression of him?
All right, my first impression of Sal is, so I had played in the Rookie League the year before for Loudon, and my first impression of Sal is that you want to be on his team because if you're not on his team, he's going to beat you. And he doesn't care how he's going to do it. He is going to beat you. So, my thoughts coming into Bethesda was, okay, like I went from being on probably the worst team in the Ripken League to probably being on the best team in the league, and that that's kind of the environment that I wanted to put myself in, because we didn't win a championship my freshman year at college, and I had wanted a championship in a long time. So my goal here was obviously to get better and develop my game, but at the same time I wanted to win a championship, and I thought Sal was the guy to do it, and obviously we did that.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, and we'll get into kind of the ultimate moment that you were a part of. You can't really talk to you and not touch on that subject, as it looks like Sal's actually going to be joining us in a little bit. I think that's him right now. Is that Sal? Can you hear us?
Yes. Hey, Shaun. I was having internet issues with the storm.
No problem.
So I'm on my phone.
Okay, no problem.
I'm here.
Well, Sal, Matt, Sal, I'm sure you two are well acquainted at this point. Matt was actually just talking about his first impression of you as a manager, both from afar and then also playing for you. We'll just jump right into things. Sal, what did you see in Matt when you brought him onto Big Train, and what were you expecting out of him every time he got in the batter's box?
Well, truthfully, I knew about Matt when he was in high school. Knew all about him. Knew he was a quality guy. Came from a quality family. Mom and dad are amazing, and I learned that from Bruce Hall. When Matt was playing for the River Dogs, we used to joke, but I was serious. Bruce would come over and say, "Jesus, Joseph, Bruce, don't use that. Don't say that." And he's like, "I just need some arms." I said, "Okay, I'll take Matt Thomas, and you can have arms. We're good to go." And no, that's my boy. That's my boy. You ain't getting him like that. But just the way he carried himself on the field, Matt is like a fourth coach on the field. I know if Matt comes to me, for example, today, what did you think? He's pretty much on point. He doesn't know I've already seen him throw, and he was exactly in his own line, exactly with me on point. So having that leadership that Matt brings is huge. So especially this summer when we have, G and I, and then Coach Bob is doing a great job. That's still trying to learn the ropes, but he's helping us. He's phenomenal. So I'm going to rely on Matt a lot this summer because it is different. So, but the first time I met Matt was just how he carried himself on the field, how he went about his business on the field, and how he played the game hard. And that's just the way we played at Big Train. And so, I was hoping I would get him, and I got him. Bruce ended up moving and not having a team, or he'd probably be back with the River Dogs. No chance. But that's kind of how I met Matt and what I thought of Matt. I remember doing all region selections, running that meeting, and it was all about Matt. Nobody else. Matt can play third. Matt can play second. Matt can pitch. Matt can do this. And I got tired of Matt. I got to see Matt, And so that's where it all started the season before.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Matt, we were talking about the fact that he played all over the field and, has really has a diverse set of skills that can be applied almost anywhere. Did that really play a part into your game plan going into building the roster last year, just knowing that you had a guy you could plug anywhere?
Yeah, and fortunately, and unfortunate for him at times, but I've kind of done this, and it's interesting because I did it with Logan Driscoll as well. I've done it with a couple other people. Matt was a catcher. He was a first baseman. He was a right fielder. He's a center fielder. I personally think he's going to be a second baseman at the next level, and he will get there. And being to have that utility and the diversity to be able to put him anywhere, it just opens up more at bats for other people. Sometimes it's a detriment to Matt. I feel bad at times, but the type of kid Matt is, coach, I'm playing, I'm getting at bats, I'm good. But when it comes down to it, and you saw in the championship game, I knew what Matt could do. There was no question. I knew who was catching because he was more familiar with the team and the pitchers. And I was blessed with two great catchers last year, Cade Hunter. I needed someone to play first. Cade did a great job at first, and it was just a win-win. They're both great ball players, and that's why Matt didn't catch as much. But because he's versatile. If he wasn't versatile, he probably would have caught more. So Matt, you can put Matt anywhere.
So
yeah,
what did you want to improve on going into last summer?
There was definitely a lot of things that I wanted to improve on. I think the biggest part of my game was confidence and just getting my confidence back. My freshman year didn't really go as planned. I was definitely fortunate enough to see the field, but I think a big part of coming to Bethesda was learning to really be a good college hitter and learning how to hit in a good lineup and all that stuff. And I think looking back on last summer, I think the part of my game that was most improved was probably my base running. The big train likes to run. We steal so many bags that it unfortunately ended up, having me hit intentionally, but we're not going to talk about that one. But I went back to school and I'm not the fastest kid in the world, but I learned how to steal bases, and I think I finished second in the team this year in stolen bags, and that's something that I will take away from my game. That I definitely take pride on that, and I learned how to hit. I learned how to. I continue to get reps at different positions, but I think learning how to steal bases is a huge part of my game that I learned from the big train last summer.
Was there any in particular like techniques, or I'm not asking you to share any secret stuff, but were there conversations before games with Sal? Hey, I see this pitcher doing this thing. I really think that we can capitalize on the base pass this way. Or, hey, Sal, I really want to get a swipe this game. What were the conversations like between you and Skip?
Yeah, I think most of it is being aggressive. You can't be a timid base runner. We were so fortunate enough to have such high baseball IQ in our dugout that we would pick up on little things on pitchers, and pitchers weren't very good about holding runners sometimes, and every single kid on our team would take advantage of that. And it's something where Gio Diaz gets on first, to lead off the game, and he sees something, comes back in the dugout, tells all of us, and all of a sudden we're just running wild on the bases because we see something that nobody else can really tell, and that just comes with knowing the game and knowing how to play the game. The biggest thing that I took away was just being aggressive. You're going to get thrown out sometimes, and that's part of the game, but if you're not aggressive, you're not going to be able to steal bags in the first place. And the big train is aggressive. Sal is aggressive on the bases, and that is how you play the game of baseball.
So the confidence in summer ball is just huge with these players. They come in, you're not going to sit there, and I've seen coaches in this league over the last 20 plus years that absolutely tear the players down and make them feel like crap and all that. You got to get on them when you have to get on them, but if you do that, they're not going to play for you. They're going to go back and tell the coaches they had bad experience. They didn't learn anything. We got dog cussed every game, stuff like that. That's not baseball. And that's not what summer baseball is for. It's to give them the ability to be in the Washington metropolitan area, give them the ability to work on things that they need to work on, and give them the ability to be confident so they go back to the school better. And if you're confident they go back better, then we're just an extension of their program, which is good. So when we get people from Long Beach State or, Virginia Tech or William & Mary, they know they're going to get better because we allow them to play. We allow them to work on things. Coach Lopez does a good job. So like Matt said, confidence is huge in the summer ball, and then building that relationship with the players where they're going to play for you and your family. And it all takes care of the rest. No more. I won't tell any more secrets, Matt and I, because if Jeff Raberman's listening right now, he's gonna try to pick up on it too.
Yeah, I know it's a treasure trove of secrets. I don't want people to go out and expect to get any edge on this show, and that definitely won't be the case. I know you guys aren't going to give away any of that treasure trove of information, but the thing that I was most impressed with, Matt, on your play last year, and I think it really showed not only in the stats, but just every game how pitchers pitch to you, is your eye. You had one of the best knowledge, or whatever you want to call it, one of the best eyes for the strike zone on the team last year. And I went through my scorebook last season, and there wasn't a whole lot of games that you weren't getting on base, whether it was sometimes wearing one, or getting a base on balls, or slapping a base hit up the middle, or every now and then out of the park. What do you credit to that ability to have such a keen eye for the strike zone?
I think some of that comes with being a catcher and just understanding how the zone works, but at the same time, plate discipline is huge. If you want to be a college hitter, you got to understand where the strike zone is, and you got to understand how pitchers are going to pitch to you. Something that I, tried to practice this summer was learning pitcher tendencies and how pitchers were going to attack you, whether it was, and that changes where you are in the order. So I did bounce around in the order this summer, and I learned how pitchers are going to throw, like how they're going to throw to me, and part of that is guessing pitches, but you also got to be able to react to some stuff, and plate discipline is huge. If the difference in going 1 for 3 with a walk versus 1 for 4 with a punch out, that's huge, and you can't score runs if you're not on base. So part of what we do at school is you got to find ways to get on base, whether you have your 0-2 and you got to battle and have a 13-pitch AB, or whether it's a first pitch fastball in that you're going to take a good swing at. You got to find ways to get on base. If you're not on base, you can't score, and if you're not on base, you can't steal bases. And offensive innings get started by guys just finding a way to get on base, and I think that's something that I like to take pride in my game, is just finding a way to get on base, whether it's a walk, or hit by pitch, or just finding a way to poke one through the right side. Getting on base is a huge part of starting innings, and that's just playing the game. Everybody wants to hit home runs, everybody wants to hit doubles, but sometimes the situation calls for you just slapping one through the right side and then advancing on a dirt ball. And then all of a sudden you got a guy in scoring position, and all of a sudden we're scoring runs, and that's just that drive for winning. It's just finding ways to get the job done.
Well, I don't think we'd be doing our due diligence if we asked you what your favorite memory was from last season, because that's the easiest question we could possibly propose. Take me through what was going through your mind when you stepped up to the plate and had a chance to really give a huge shot in the arm to the offense in Game 3 of the LCS, win or go home, win championships on the line. It's the bottom of the 8th. And you're trying to get some offense and life back into your ball club.
That's funny, because this is one of those moments that I remember so vividly, and it's one of those moments that I really will remember for a long time. I remember walking up to the plate. It was first and second. Kobe was on second. CJ was on second. Kobe was on first. And I remember looking at the scoreboard. I was like, it's 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Like, what can I do here just to scratch up any type of run across? And I was thinking, if I hit a double here, 2 runs scored, I'm on second, and we still have an inning. I had no intention of hitting a home run at all. And the guy threw me a first pitch curveball, and I took it for a strike. And I knew I won that at bat right after he threw that pitch, because I was throughout the entire game in my first and second at bats, I had gotten back-to-back breaking balls. And when he threw that first pitch for a strike, I was like, okay, I know he's coming back with a breaking ball right here. And I was sitting breaking ball, and I saw it pop out of his hands, and I absolutely just took the best swing I could, and unfortunately I caught it right, and it went out. But that wasn't by any means the game. And right after that, we started the inning right back up and ended up putting 3 more on the board. But that was one of those moments where it's just it's surreal to think about, just because it was, that's one of those things that doesn't happen every day. To hit a home run in the bottom of the 8th of Game 3 when you're down by 4 runs, that's something that you'll think about for a long time.
Yeah, and by my notes, tell me if I'm wrong, you haven't hit a home run at William and Mary. Is that the first home run you have hit since high school?
I think that was my first home run I hit since high school. I didn't hit one my summer ball season with the River Dogs. It definitely did.
And I like to say for the record, that a home run, Matt made me look like a big league manager and king for not bunting him with guys in first and second and nobody out, down a couple runs, early on. So thank you, Matt.
The kids play. I mean,
let them play. Hey, that's what they're there. I mean, I didn't know Matt was going to do something great. I knew, it's just Matt, and he did it. But I look like the coach of the year, but really, you just get that gut. And Matt he had good ABs, and he worked hard, and he got the ball he wanted, and you know what? It's probably still going. He crushed it, and then he once again set the tone there, and it unraveled for everybody else.
I mean, clearly there was something going with you, Matt, when it came to big moments all postseason long. You ended up going in the postseason 9 for 16 with 8 RBIs and 8 walks. I mean, that's a .562 batting average. And Sal, you were quoted after the game calling Matt Mr. Clutch, Mr. July. I mean, what trait does Matt have that is shared by other clutch players that you've coached in the past that people who can't stand in the moment don't have.
Well, Matt's the type of kid that rises to the occasion. He can deal with adversity. He knows when he's got to turn it up a notch, and he can turn it off, turn it on when he wants to. And those are the guys that like the limelight, but are very modest and humble in doing so. You would never know it. I mean, the Reggie Jacksons, you just don't know it. It's just they get to those months, Mr. October, they get there and they're just ready to roll and play. And it's really a better question to ask Matt. But Matt is just ready to go. I mean, he's focused. He has an idea, a game plan, which will be a great area of growth as he gets older and gets to the next level, minor league level, where he'll have to have a plan. But he just steps up. He's just always been that way. He's the guy that you want to shoot that free throw and take the last shot in the NBA. Matt's the guy you want up at the plate. He just has that approach, the work ethic. Like he talked about, the discipline, he has it all, and he makes you hurt when it comes time to. So it's just a great quality, and not everybody has that. Some people don't want the ball. Some people don't want to hit in clutch situations. Matt thrives on that, and that's a testament to his father, that taught him the game of baseball growing up. His dad, Matt's who he is because of his dad, not because of Sal Colangelo, not because of his high school coaches, JT and them, but because of what he learned at such a young age, and watching the game of baseball. His father, his mom's probably going to kill me, but maybe it was his mom, but it was definitely his dad taught him how to play baseball because his dad's knowledgeable, and that's the type of family they are.
Well, I mean, I can't add anything better to say than that in terms of, what kind of player Matt was to the big train last year, coming up in huge situations time after time. And now moving forward, obviously the season was cut short at William and Mary. Things didn't end up working out the way that you wanted to. And, you feel like you're off to a good start of the season and the sport just gets ripped away from you. Now you have a chance to come back in a different league, a smaller league, the Northern Virginia College League, and play for none other than Sal Colangelo, who's going to be coaching you, and Coach G. How excited were you to hear that he was going to be your manager for this short summer?
I wouldn't want it any other way. That was when I heard Sal was going to be my coach, I was absolutely ecstatic. And it's not obviously it's playing for Sal. It's we're super close, but playing for Sal means that we will win the championship, and that's probably about as good as it's going to get this summer. But part of playing for Coach Sal, that's the development part. I will come away, whether it's a small league or a big league, I'll come away a much better baseball player just because he understands the game and Coach G understands the game, and he knows who I am as a player, and we understand what I need to work on to get to the next level and to elevate my game. And playing for Sal, that's all you can ask for. That's what we're going to get out of the summer, and we are going to win the league. I can almost assure you that. But at the same time, we're going to get so much better at doing it.
Sal, I know you're fired up here in your first round pick in that league. Talk with that kind of confidence.
Well, let me tell you something. And Matt and I talk a lot, and I went and saw him play one time this summer and all that. But let me tell you something. I spent probably 60 hours going over the draft list and who was playing and who wasn't playing and who's what. And I tell you what, I was so excited. I was making myself sick. I'm like, okay, I got the second pick overall. Oh, wait, his high school coach just traded for the first pick overall. I'm like, meanwhile, they're all calling me going, what are you going to do? Well, Sal's going to take pitching. Sal's going to take pitching. Well, not in this league because there's not a lot of pitching, although we do have the two best pitchers. So I'm going, okay, I was so excited. Let's get this first pick. And his high school coach was so excited to take Lyle, who's a great player and great coach, and was so excited. He's drafting him before we got started. And I'm going, yes. But like, it was like a load off my chest. Because like I said, Matt brings that other aspect of leadership, and good leadership equates to a lot of success and a lot of W's. He's a fourth coach. He's a coach on the field. And, when I took Matt, that draft room went silent because they thought for sure I was taking a big arm. And and they were like, "Oh my God, we just screwed up our entire draft." Because if I didn't take him, Rusty was going to take him the third pick. Like, he was not going to be around. And so they tried to trade for him. I said, nope, unless you got cash, we're not trading. There's no way in heck. So Matt, I would have split it with you, of course, but that wasn't happening. So it was awesome. I was so excited. I knew, like, I had a draft 1 and draft 2. If I didn't get Matt, I knew where I was going. But I got Matt, so I was like, okay, I got 40 that I believe with my coaches. I spoke to other coaches, spoke to my brother. I believe were the 40 best players in the league. And I got down, I'm going, and Bob's like, I'm telling you, Sal, they're going to be there longer than what you think. I'm like, there's no way. If these guys do their homework, these guys are going to be gone in the first couple rounds and be done with it. So I'm drafting, and it's like the 7th, 8th, 9th round. I'm going, holy cow, how is this guy still around? And I'm adding it. And, we got big train caliber hitters. What would you say? 1 through 7, Matt? 1 through 6 for sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
With a good mixture of some high school guys that can play, Aiden Tierney and them, and Garrett Riley. Like, I'm just like, holy cow. Like, did I just pull this off? Now, I will say this. I don't know if we don't have the pitching we had with the big train. We don't have the speed that we always have with the big train. But we are going to absolutely crush the ball. There is absolutely, without question, that's going to happen. I'm watching BP today, and I'm like, I feel like I'm on the big train field with these guys. And the good thing about it with me, like, I get to see these guys for a whole summer. Not even our players, but I get to see other players, local and not local guys, like Lucas Donnellan. Great player. He'll be with the big train next year. That's done. That's sealed, delivered. Well, not signed, because we can't sign anybody, but I've already talked to Virginia Tech. He's coming to us, and another great player. So it'll give me the opportunity to see people play and go, man, we're going to take him too. So it's a good thing. It was a lot. It's been a lot of fun. But getting Matt, back to your question, that just opened up the floodgates for what I wanted to do. And I was excited. I was at my bar in the basement. Bob and G, they're at 2 corners, and I got it all mapped out in front of me. And then I'm listening to some coaches, they're drafting, and I'm like, he's already been picked. Like, we were running a major league draft, and it was fun. Pudge has done an unbelievable job putting this together. Kudos to him as player agent. He doesn't, it's not easy. Rob Honey's involved, and Scott Rowland, but when I got Matt, they just dropped the ball. They're like, oh, heck, oh, this, oh, that, because they knew what Matt means, his leadership, what he means to the team.
Well, I can't wait, speaking personally, to at least try to get a chance, whether it be on the live stream or in person, socially distanced, of course, to watch you guys get a chance to finally pick up a bat and a ball for the first time in months and get a chance to play again this summer. We're going to wrap the show up with that. But first, I want to make sure that we don't let the opportunity go by. We have all been made aware that it is Sal's birthday today. So, Sal, I know you're listening. I want to thank you for tuning in and taking the time. I know they already serenaded you at practice. Matt was telling me, but we wanted to say thank you for being part of the show and being part of the Big Train family, and happy birthday, big guy.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Matt, I'll see you bright and early in the morning.
Yep, 10 o'clock scrimmage.
Yes,
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this edition of Talkin Baseball. That's going to do it. This is presented by the Dandy Walker Alliance. For more information on them, visit dandywalker.org to learn more today. Have a good night, everybody.